Good afternoon, everyone. Before starting with today's session, I want to ask you people that yesterday I shared a PDF file for your numericals that were there in your class test. So I'm just hoping that you all went through that file, you checked all the questions. So is anyone having any doubt in that? If yes, we can discuss it. Yes, anyone? No doubt? Everything is clear? All right then. Okay, Harsh. Then we'll start with our new chapter, that is optimization. Let me just present my screen. Fenton, I will share a file of your marks either by tomorrow, either by today evening or by tomorrow evening. Definitely, I will share with you. Okay, so let's start with our chapter number 4, that is optimization. So optimization is something that is like we have to make something efficient. And before starting this thing, we have seen a small preview of a optimization technique that we have discussed earlier in chapter number 1, that was genetic algorithm. So what we were doing over there was we were making use of the genes, how genes work in human beings, and we were trying to make our algorithms, our computers, whatever softwares do we have, we were trying to make them more efficient. That was the main motive and main task of genetic algorithm. Here we are going to discuss about various other algorithms as well. So first of all, let us start with the introduction part for optimization. So it is a process of making something better. Optimization is the process of adjusting the inputs to find the minimum or maximum output or result. So minimum or maximum actually depends upon the type of problem that we are trying to solve or the type of result or output that we want to achieve. So basically optimization is something with which we are trying to make something better. Optimization is the mechanism. Sorry. Optimization is the mechanism by which one finds the maximum or minimum value of a function or process. This mechanism is used in fields such as physics, chemistry, economics, and engineering, where the goal is to maximize efficiency, production, or some other measure. Optimization can refer to either minimization or maximization. Maximization of a function f is equivalent to minimization of the opposite of this function minus f. So again, I'm repeating the same thing, that minimization and maximization actually depends upon the problem that we are trying to solve, and we have actually just discussed about the fields where we can use this process to make things better. Next is an engineer or scientist conjures up a new idea and optimization improves on that idea. Optimization consists in trying variations on an initial concept and using the information gained to improve on the idea. A computer is the perfect tool for optimization as long as the idea or variable influencing the idea can be input in electronic format. Feed the computer some data, and out comes the solution. So we are using optimization techniques in case of engineering also and in case of research also. So what actually happens is that we have to go through a rigorous process of actually trying to input all the space or all the inputs that can be there for a particular problem, and then we are checking its output or something that we are trying to achieve. Next we have is types of optimization techniques. So the first one is derivative free optimization and the second one is derivative based. So here it is just the definitions that I have added. I'll just read it out for you, and if you will be having any doubt, let me know. So the first one is derivative free optimization. It is a discipline in mathematical optimization that does not use derivative information in the classical sense to find optimal solutions. Sometimes information about the derivative of the object function f is unavailable, unreliable, or impractical to obtain. Now, before reading any further, I hope you people understand what do you understand by, what do you mean by actually derivative. So, derivative is something that you must have studied in your 11th or 12th standard in mathematics. So, I'm just hoping that you people know that. Okay. So, for example, f might be non-smooth or time consuming to evaluate, or in some way noisy, so that the methods that rely on derivatives or approximate them by finite differences are of little use. The problem to find optimal points in such situation is referred to as derivative-free optimization. Algorithms that do not use derivatives or finite differences are called derivative-free algorithms. And next we have is derivative-based optimization. So it says that it deals with gradient-based optimization techniques capable of determining search directions according to an objective function's derivative information. It is used in optimizing nonlinear neurofuzzy models, that is steepest descent. So in total, we are going to discuss 8 algorithms in this chapter, which consist of 4 of derivative-free optimization and 4 of derivative-based. So first of all, before starting any further, let us discuss about the differences between the two. So first one is derivative-free optimization. The first point says derivative-free optimization cannot be derived. Obviously, as its name suggests, it cannot be derived from any other function, whereas derivative-based optimization can be derived. Then we have, it makes use of evolutionary concepts. And in case of derivative-based, it does not make use of evolutionary concepts. Evolutionary concept is something that is very creative and based on your imagination. So this is how we solve the problem in case of derivative-free as well as derivative-based optimization techniques. Next we have it for derivative-free. It is slower than derivative-based optimization, whereas derivative-based optimization is faster. Derivative-free optimization makes use of random number generator to find the search directions. Then in case of derivative based, it does not make use of random number generator to find the search directions. No analysis is done due to randomness. It is actually not so, it is due. Analysis is performed at every step. In case of derivative free, there is no need of differentiable, whereas in case of derivative based, there is a need of differentiable. Then we have some natural wisdom is used that is based on evolution and thermodynamics in case of derivative free. Whereas in case of derivation based, no natural wisdom is used because there we are actually just deriving the solution using various derivations and formulas. Okay, so one of the technique is simulated annealing for derivative free, whereas for derivative based, it is descent method and Newton's method. So as I was saying, we are going to study in total of 8 algorithms for derivative free and derivative based optimization. These are the names. So the first one we will discuss for derivative free optimization. We have genetic algorithm, simulated annealing, random search, downhill simplex search. Then in case of derivative based, we have descent method, steepest descent methods. Then we have classical Newton's method and step size determination. First of all, we'll discuss about derivative free optimization algorithms and then we'll move to derivative based. If we talk about derivative free optimization algorithms, we have already discussed about genetic algorithms. So whatever documentation I have provided in chapter number 1, that will work for chapter number 4 as well. There is no difference in that. So next we'll move on to the simulated annealing part. Now, simulated annealing is a method of actually metallurgy. If you people remember, you must have studied metallurgy in your physics, in your school times. So in metallurgy, what happens is we are actually cooling down and heating up a metal, any particular metal, for casting, and we are actually removing the defects and making the metal better. So here simulated annealing also works for metallurgy. So first of all, let me just read it out, then I'll explain it to you. It says simulated annealing is a method for solving unconstrained and bound constrained optimization problems. The method models the physical process of heating a material and then slowly lowering the temperatures to decrease the defects, thus minimizing the system energy. At each iteration of the simulated annealing algorithm, a new point is randomly generated. The distance of the new point from the current point or the extent of the search is based on the probability distribution with a scale of proportional to the temperature. So here our main focus will be on the temperature of the metal that we are using. And as they have seen, as they have actually written, not seen, that what we are doing over here is we are heating up a material and then slowly lowering the temperature. And our main output is that we have to decrease the defects and also minimize system energy. So further they are saying the algorithm accepts all new points that lower the objective, but also with a certain probability, points that rise the objective. By accepting points that rise the objective, the algorithm avoids being trapped in local minima and is able to explore globally more possible solutions. An annealing schedule is selected to systematically decrease the temperature as the algorithm proceeds. As the temperature decreases, the algorithm reduces the extent of its search to converge to a minimum. So before discussing about this, I want to ask you people, हिल क्लाइंबिंग एल्गोरिथम में क्या हो रहा है? Anyone remember what was happening in hill climbing? Yes, anyone? Yes. Anyone please reply. What was happening in hill climbing algorithm? Going towards local minimum, sorry, maximum. Okay. What else was happening? What was that something that we want to achieve? Okay, we completely approach covering depth only. Okay. There was something like global maxima. We actually wanted to reach global maxima. And one more thing was there that in case of hill climbing, we were just moving up. Even if we are stuck somewhere, right? So we were actually just moving up in case of hill climbing. So when we are stuck in case of our this annealing process, what will happen is that we can move even downwards. Obviously, there will be a point when we will be stuck in case of local minimum or local maximum, because as we were discussing, it is just the game of minimizing and maximizing a function. So that is what we are doing in case of annealing also. annealing में हमने ये तो जान लिया कि हमारे पास एक मेटल है एंड हमने उसके डिफेक्ट्स रिमूव करने हैं. कैसे रिमूव करने हैं? टेम्परेचर को इंक्रीज या डिक्रीज करना. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टेम्परेचर को इंक्रीज करना है, देन टेम्परेचर को डिक्रीज करना है. बट कितनी वैल्यू होनी चाहिए फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर मेटल, कितनी वैल्यू पे किस तरह का डिफेक्ट रिमूव होगा, दैट वी आर नॉट श्योर ऑफ. तो उसके लिए हमारे को assumptions लेने पड़ेंगे. And while we'll be taking assumptions, we can also get stuck in some situations like local maxima or local minima. So if we have to get out of those problems, तो यहाँ पर एक provision है in case of this annealing process कि इसमें हम backward भी आ सकते हैं अपने process में, which was not in case of hill climbing. Hill climbing में just हम ऊपर move करते थे, but in case of this annealing process we can come backwards, and then if we found any particular good solution or if we found any optimal temperature, if we talk in that sense, तो हमारा process उस particular point पे directly jump कर सकता है. This is actually the main difference between hill climbing and this annealing process. Okay, so let's read it further. So, an annealing schedule is selected to systematically decrease the temperature as the algorithm proceeds. As the temperature decreases, the algorithm reduces the extent of its search to converge to a minimum. बिकॉज यहाँ पे हमारे को दो चीज़ें एक्चुअली अचीव करनी है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऑब्वियसली हमारे को डिफेक्ट्स को रिमूव करने हैं अपने मटेरियल से, एंड वो टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज या टेम्परेचर डिक्रीज करके ही हम करेंगे. एंड द सेकेंड थिंग दैट वी वांट टू अचीव इज कि हमारे सिस्टम में जो एनर्जी है इट शुड बी वेरी लेस. बहुत लेस एनर्जी शुड बी यूज्ड. दैट इज द मेन thing that we want to achieve. Next we have is simulated annealing terminologies. So before discussing about the algorithm of simulated annealing, we are going to discuss about the terminologies. So the first one is objective function. The objective function is the function you want to optimize. Global optimization toolbox algorithms attempt to find the minimum of the optimization function, write the objective function as a file or anonymous function, and pass it to the solver as a function handle. So it is something objective function. We have just provided the definition that you have to actually learn. Next is temperature. The temperature is a parameter in simulated annealing that affects two aspects of the algorithm. First is the distance of a trial point from the current point. इसके लिए ना just consider, अगर आप याद कर सकते हो जो हमारे हिल क्लाइंबिंग में फिगर हमने यूज की थी. What we did was हमने एक हिल जैसा शेप ड्रॉ किया था and then उस पे we were trying to go up or move down, right? That was the case in case of hill climbing. तो सेम थिंग है, अभी यहाँ पर भी वैसा ही कुछ सोच लो, जस्ट इमेजिन इन योर माइंड. एंड फर्स्ट पॉइंट यहाँ पे हमने बोला है द डिस्टेंस ऑफ अ ट्रायल पॉइंट फ्रॉम द करंट पॉइंट. तो हमारे को यहाँ पे ऑप्टिमल टेम्परेचर चाहिए जिसमें हमारे मटेरियल के डिफेक्ट्स दूर हो जाएंगे. अभी हम अगर करंट टेम्परेचर पे हैं देन वी हैव टू रीच दिस ऑप्टिमल टेम्परेचर. So first of all, we have to consider the distance between the 2 points, and secondly, the probability of accepting a trial point with higher objective function value. Temperature can be a vector with different values of each component of the current point. Typically, the initial. So I hope you remember. And scalar is something which is a value, which will not change, something which is measurable. Temperature decreases gradually as the algorithm proceeds. You can specify the initial temperature as a positive scalar or vector in the initial temperature option. So further, we are going to discuss about its algorithm also. So there, we are going to use these terms that I'm saying right now. Okay, so first of all, they made use of first terminology, that was initial temperature option. You can specify the temperature as the function of iteration number as a function handled in the temperature function option. The temperature is a function of the annealing parameter, which is a proxy for the iteration number. The slower the rate of temperature, the better the chance are for finding the optimal solution. So, इसका बेसिकली कहने का सिर्फ ये मोटिव है कि जैसे जैसे एल्गोरिथम आगे मूव करेगा हमारे को टेम्परेचर तो डिक्रीज करना ही है. दैट इज एक्चुअली कंस्ट्रेंट दैट वी हैव टू फॉलो. बट यहाँ पे क्या है कि अगर हम जो टेम्परेचर है वो स्लोली डिक्रीज करेंगे तो उस केस में हमारे ऑप्टिमल सोल्यूशन या फिर ऑप्टिमल टेम्परेचर या फिर जो हमारे को आउटपुट चाहिए उस तक पहुंचना ज़्यादा इजी हो जाता है और ज़्यादा एफिशिएंट हो जाता है. just this is what they're trying to say using these terminologies. Okay, so let's move further. Next we have is annealing parameter. The annealing parameter is a proxy for the iteration number. The algorithm can rise temperature by setting the annealing parameter to a lower value than the current iteration. जस्ट अगर अनिलिंग पैरामीटर की वैल्यू हम लोअर कर देंगे, इससे जस्ट एक चीज होगी कि टेम्परेचर की वैल्यू इंक्रीज हो जाएगी. If annealing parameters value is less, then the temperature will be high. Then we have re-annealing. Annealing is the technique of closely controlling the temperature when cooling a material to ensure that it reaches an optimal state. Re-annealing raises the temperature after the algorithm accepts the certain number of new points and starts the search again at the higher temperature. Re-annealing avoids the algorithm getting caught at local minimum. अगर इसको मैं सिंपल वर्ड्स में कहूँ, री-अनीलिंग में बेसिकली क्या हो रहा था कि हम टेम्परेचर को कंट्रोल कैसे करते थे. अगर हम अनीलिंग की वैल्यू को इंक्रीज करते हैं, जस्ट अ मिनट, अगर हम अनीलिंग की वैल्यू को कम करते हैं, so in that case temperature was increasing. So that is how हम annealing की proxy value को use कर रहे थे to increase or decrease the temperature. अभी तक तो this was happening. So इन्होंने एक और terminology यहाँ पे introduce की, that was re-annealing. That is something obviously opposite of annealing, जिसमें क्या होगा कि इसमें हम temperature को फिर से high ले जाएंगे and then we will start checking for the new option that can be there. Okay, so next we are going to discuss about the outline of the algorithm. The first point is the algorithm generates a random trial point. Here trial point is basically any temperature value. कोई भी temperature value हमने first of all consider कर ली and then we are just starting from there. अगर आपको याद हो स्टेट स्पेस सर्च, तो स्टेट स्पेस सर्च में भी हम क्या करते थे, इफ वी डोंट हैव एनी इनपुट, अगर क्वेश्चन में कुछ प्रोवाइडेड नहीं होता, तो इन दैट केस व्हाट वी डू इज कोई रैंडमली हम इनपुट लेंगे एंड देन वी विल स्टार्ट सर्चिंग फॉर द आउटपुट फ्रॉम दैट. यहाँ पर भी दैट इज व्हाट वी आर मेकिंग यूज ऑफ. यहाँ पे हमारे पास जो पता है हमारे को कि हमारे को अचीव क्या करना है, कैसे अचीव करना है वो भी पता है, बट टेम्परेचर वैल्यूज क्या होंगी उसके लिए दैट वी आर नॉट श्योर. सो फर्स्ट पॉइंट में ही उन्होंने कह दिया कि एल्गोरिथम जनरेट्स अ रैंडम ट्रायल पॉइंट. द एल्गोरिथम चूजेस द डिस्टेंस ऑफ द ट्रायल पॉइंट फ्रॉम द करंट पॉइंट बाय अ प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन विद अ स्केल डिपेंडिंग ऑन करंट टेम्परेचर. तो अभी इफ यू अगेन रिमेंबर हिल क्लाइंबिंग वाली फिगर, तो उस केस में सोचो कि हमारे पास एक ट्रायल पॉइंट है which can be considered as the global maxima. Global maxima was the highest peak that we wanted to achieve. And हम अभी एक current situation में हैं, current situation में एक point पे stuck हैं और हमारे को वो global maxima पे reach करना है या फिर वो global optimal temperature पे we have to reach. So अभी क्या होगा कि हमारे को उन दोनों के बीच में distance जो है वो हमने कैलकुलेट कर लिया विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ स्केल एंड इट इज ऑल डिपेंडेंट ऑन द करंट टेम्परेचर दैट वी आर इन. तो हमारी करंट सिचुएशन है, एवरीथिंग इज बेस्ड ऑन दैट पॉइंट. सो यू सेट द ट्रायल पॉइंट डिस्टेंस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एज अ फंक्शन विद द अनीलिंग फंक्शन ऑप्शन. तो अभी अगर हमारे को उसकी वैल्यू सेट करनी है, दैट मीन्स यू सेट द ट्रायल पॉइंट. Trial point was that temperature, that optimal temperature that we want to achieve, distance distribution as a function with annealing function option. तो हमारी करंट स्टेट से जो हमारी ट्रायल पॉइंट है दैट इज द ऑप्टिमल टेम्परेचर है जो उसके बीच कितना डिस्टेंस है वो हम कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं annealing function ऑप्शन से. Then we have these new functions which is annealing fast, which is used to step length equals the current temperature and direction is uniformly random. Then we have annealing volts. It uses step length equals the square root of temperature and direction is uniformly random. Then we have my function, custom annealing algorithm, my fun, for custom annealing function syntax. Then later on we'll discuss about algorithm settings, then you will come to know what it is. After generating the trial point, the algorithm shifts it, if necessary, to stay within bounds. The temperature shifts each invisible component of the trial point to a value chosen uniformly at random between the violated bound and the visible value at the previous iteration. Okay, अभी यहाँ क्या हो रहा है? हमारे को अपना टेम्परेचर बस जानना है हमारे को आउटपुट तक पहुँचना है, तो उसके लिए इतना ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट करने की क्या ज़रूरत है, राइट? ज़रूरत इसलिए है बिकॉज देखो सब कुछ डिपेंडेंट होगा हमारे टेम्परेचर पर. अगर टेम्परेचर ऑप्टिमल मिल गया हमारे को एक बार, तो हमारे पास हमारा एनर्जी भी कम यूज़ होगी और हमारे मटेरियल के डिफेक्ट्स भी बहुत जल्दी रिमूव हो जाएंगे. Some industries are actually set up for just achieving these two things. So it is a very important process, we can say. So अभी यहाँ पे मैंने क्या कहा है, देखो टेम्परेचर जो एक ऑप्टिमल टेम्परेचर होता है दैट इज ऑब्वियसली नॉट अ पॉइंट, वो एक रेंज होती है कि अगर इस रेंज में टेम्परेचर रहेगा that means it will be considered as optimal temperature for a particular metal. तो अभी उन्होंने कहा कि हमारे को अगर ट्रायल पॉइंट हम शिफ्ट कर देते हैं दैट मीन्स कि हमारा जो ऑप्टिमल टेम्परेचर की वैल्यू थी इफ वी शिफ्ट इट देन व्हाट विल हैपन. उन्होंने कहा the algorithm shifts each invisible component of the trial point to a value chosen uniformly at a random between the violated bound and the visible value at the previous iteration. तो बेसिकली क्या होगा उससे, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमारे को एक वैल्यू मिल गई थी एक इनपुट. सेकेंडली we'll check the second input and we'll try to calculate the output for that. And this is how we are actually just writing down कि अगर हमारे पास ये इनपुट है ये आउटपुट होगा, ये इनपुट है ये आउटपुट होगा. तो इस केस में at the end we can just justify that if we have this range of optimal temperatures, our output can be achieved. Second point is the algorithm determines whether the new point is better or worse. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो हमने भाई किया एक पॉइंट को चेक कर लिया, देन वी आर मूविंग ऑन टू द सेकंड पॉइंट. The second point में they are saying the algorithm determines whether the new point is better or worse than the current point. If the new point is better than the current point, it becomes the next point. If the new point is worse than the current point, the algorithm can still make the next point. क्योंकि हमारे को सारे ऑप्शंस चेक करने हैं, हमें जो पॉइंट्स जो टेम्परेचर वैल्यूज हम कंसिडर कर रहे हैं वो हम रैंडमली पिक कर रहे हैं एंड देन वी आर एक्चुअली considering those values. Then we have to consider all the input values. The algorithm accepts the worst point based on the acceptance function. Choose the acceptance function with acceptance FCN option. Okay. So next we have is the choices that we can use. So this function is something which is default in nature. And then we have simulated annealing acceptance function. And the probability of acceptance is calculated using this formula. Your delta is the new objective minus old objective. T naught is the initial temperature of the component I, and T is the current temperature. Then in next statement we have just explained what are these values and how they can be used to calculate the probability of acceptance. Then we have point number 4. The algorithm systematically lowers the temperature, storing the best point found so far. The temperature FCN option specifies the function the algorithm uses to update the temperature. Let K denote the annealing parameter. The annealing parameter is the same as the iteration number until re-annealing. तो जब तक हम annealing पैरामीटर मतलब जब तक हम annealing प्रोसेस को रिपीट कर रहे हैं तो उसको हम डिनोट करेंगे k के साथ कि कितनी बार हमने annealing प्रोसेस को रिपीट किया है until we are doing the re-annealing process. So these are some of the options that they have chosen जिससे हम कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं इसके वैल्यूज. The fifth point is this function reanneals after it accepts the reanneal interval points. Reannealing sets the annealing parameter to lower values than the iteration number, जिससे क्या होगा हमारा टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. The annealing parameters depend on the values of estimated gradient of the objective function in each dimension. The basic formula is this, जहाँ पे जो उन्होंने values use की हैं for reannealing process वो यहाँ है. And the last point is the algorithm stops when the average chance the objective function is small relative to the function tolerance or when it reaches any other stopping criteria. So basically they have just explained an algorithm over here कि किस तरह से वर्क होता है, किस तरह से हम टेम्परेचर पॉइंट्स को चूज कर रहे हैं फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, which actually lies between the range, trial range, and ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो पॉइंट सही है या गलत है, हमारे को सब पॉइंट्स को कंसिडर करना है बिकॉज राइट नाउ वी डोंट नो कि किस पॉइंट को यूज करके हमारे पास आउटपुट आएगा. So we will check all the inputs and we will consider all the outputs as well, and later on we will check which one is better. Then we will make use of annealing process. Annealing से क्या हो रहा था, अगर टेम्परेचर हमारे को इंक्रीज करना है तो वी विल एक्चुअली डिक्रीजिंग द annealing proxy value and vice versa. Annealing का प्रोसेस हम तब तक रिपीट करेंगे जब तक हमारे को पूरी ऑप्टिमल रेंजेस आउटपुट की नहीं मिल जाती, टेम्परेचर रेंजेस नहीं मिल जाती हैं. एंड आफ्टर दैट वी विल मेक यूज ऑफ रीअनीलिंग प्रोसेस. रीअनीलिंग वाज समथिंग जहाँ पे हम एक्चुअली टेम्परेचर को फिर से इंक्रीज करते थे, अनीलिंग पैरामीटर को बिल्कुल डिक्रीज करके बिकॉज हमारे को अब न्यू सेट ऑफ टेम्परेचर पॉइंट्स को चेक, जब हमारे को पर्टिकुलर रेंज मिल जाएगी देन एट दैट टाइम वी विल स्टॉप. उसके लिए भी सम कंडीशंस हैं, स्टॉपिंग कंडीशंस फॉर एल्गोरिथम, दैट वी विल चेक इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. So anyone having doubt in this topic, you can tell me. So for today's lecture, अभी तक I have not told you to do this thing. So for this topic, simulated annealing, I'll just request you people, एक बार पढ़ लेना आज क्या कल के दिन में whatever, मतलब before your next lecture, just read it once so that आपको थोड़ी सी और clarity मिल जाए. Okay. So I think there is no doubt. So let's move on to your attendance for today. 7TC1, 16 series 67.
Yes, ma'am.
Roll number 9,
Yes, ma'am.
roll number 12,
Yes, yes.
19,
Yes, ma'am.
37,
Yes, ma'am.
63, 67,
Yes, ma'am.
69, 73, 77,
Yes, ma'am. 77.
79,
Yes, ma'am.
80,
Yes, ma'am. 80.
85,
Yes, ma'am. 85.
yes, got it, 85. Next we have 86, 100,
100.
108, 112, 113, 119,
Yes, ma'am.
127,
Yes, ma'am.
129,
Yes, ma'am.
130,
Yes, ma'am.
135, 136, 164, 190, 190 is present and 135 is also present. Okay. Okay, then we have 73 is also present. Let me just check. Okay, noted. Then we have class TC2 18 series 9. Series 9 present. Then we have 7 present. Roll number 11, 29 present, 58, 68 present, 71, 75 is present. Then we have 78, 84, 88, 89.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 96, 97 is present. 103 present. 115, 117, 118, 97, I got it. 133, 173. Okay, class 7TC3, 115. Yes, I got it. Roll number 4 present. Roll number 40 not present. 172, 182. Okay, Param got it. 173. 182, Raksh. Not there. 18 series 1. Okay. 18 series 12. Yes, Abdul, I know. Abdul Thakur. I know I have not marked yet. I will mark it by today. All right. Thank you, students, for attending today's